Hey guys, how you doing? Today I want to talk about something that we don't talk about very often because they never made any sense before in our career. But today I want to talk about annuities because they are starting to look a little bit more attractive than they have since I started in this business, since Chad started in this business. Interest rates were just too low and annuities did not make sense because the break-even point on them was just garbage. Chad has a really good video on the break-even math of an annuity and a real-life example. It's definitely something that we would show if we were ever talking about it. I'm not going to do that in this video because I was actually just in a webinar yesterday where there was pretty interesting strategy about annuities that I want to share in a next video after this one. But for today, I'm just going to talk about like basics of annuities, and we'll share Chad's description or his video in the comments or a video clip in the end of the video or whatever. So watch that if you want to learn about the math and the break-even of it. What are annuities? Very simple product. Basically, you're just buying yourself a pension. It's as simple as that. You're buying yourself an income for life, or in some cases for a period of time, say 10 or 20 years. That's it. And because interest rates are high right now, the mathematicians, the actuaries at the insurance companies actually can create a higher income than they used to be able to because they base everything on interest rates and mortality rates and all of these other things. So one other thing is that as interest rates are now going down, these might start to look less attractive in the coming months. So you actually might want to hop on board with at least looking at it before the interest rates change. Just look at it. Doesn't kill anybody to run a quote for an annuity to see if it works well in your retirement plan. So what are the pros of an annuity? Obviously, the very first pro is that you have a secure income for the remainder of your life or for the remainder of you and your spouse's life because you bought a joint annuity, and you cannot outlive your money because a lot of people are obviously worried about outliving their money. So, the thing is that sure, it's not the greatest return, but there's absolutely zero market risk. So you have no market risk, you can't outlive your money, and you have this like stable, actual foundational income on top of CPP, OAS, other pension income, things like that. So that's what it's for, to create this income stream for life. They're easy to plan around because now you know, okay, I've got this set income coming in. I don't have to make assumptions about what the market's doing or revise the entire plan or create buckets or whatever depending on the market risk. So the thing that I'm going to talk about in the next video was what I learned more about yesterday, was that there's actually some pretty good tax planning strategies that you can incorporate in your plan with annuities, which I didn't really know about before because we weren't looking at them. So this can allow you to split income out of non-registered investments with your spouse because now it converts into pension income after the age of 65, which can be very helpful. And you can structure the tax to be, say, higher in the early years and lower in the later years. So if you're doing, say, maybe you're delaying CPP and OAS, so you have this higher tax bill in your 60s, and then you get to your 70s and you have this income for the rest of your life that's basically tax-free because you've paid the upfront interest tax on the annuity. So there's some neat tax planning strategies that I'll talk about in another video. Now the main con with an annuity, of course, is that your money can outlive you. If, for example, you're like, okay, I'm going to take $400,000 and buy an annuity. I'm 65 years old. It's going to create this income until I'm 90 years old. and then you die the next year and you didn't get a guarantee on your annuity, then you have lost that money. Your beneficiaries are not going to get that money. Now you can buy a guaranteed period on your annuity. So say it's 10 years, for example, then you buy it at 65, you pass away at 66, it's going to pay out to the beneficiary until, that 75th year, and then it's done. You're not going to totally get the money back, but it's actually at least some sort of guarantee on that. Another con is that you might and probably will do better investing long term. The market, generally speaking, is going to beat what annuities are going to pay long term. However, if you live, into your late 90s or hundreds or whatever, you're probably not going to get better returns in the market, because obviously the longer you live, the better this works. So, and then the last con is that this is a product. This is an insurance product that we sell. So there can be situations where, advisors, insurance advisors out there, they have a push to let's go out and push annuities on everybody. And they might be glossing over some of the reasons why you shouldn't do this, right? They're going to always pump up the reasons why you should, because they're going to make money and a commission for selling it to you. So you always got to watch out for people like us. I mean, you know what I mean? So, you can also buy an annuity in basically any account except the TFSA. You could in the TFSA, but it would make absolutely no sense because you actually have to pay tax on the income coming out, so it'd be a waste. Most companies won't even allow you, and if anybody ever recommends that, walk out of that door. There is also another kind of neat idea that I want to explore a little bit more about, replacing your DB pension plan with an annuity if you have the choice to take the commuted value or the pension. Basically what you do is buy an annuity with the commuted value that is going to copy the pension. And in some cases, now I've never actually run this quote, but this is what the guy was telling us yesterday, so I thought it was very interesting, is that in some cases, it might work out that, say for example, you had a $400,000 commuted value and you run a quote on the annuity that's going to create an identical defined benefit pension plan for you, but it's only going to cost $370,000. So you actually now have $30,000 in cash that you can take out, still have that same pension that's going to start and pay out the exact same for the rest of your life. And, now you actually have an extra $30,000 in your pocket. So it's free to run a quote like that. And if it makes sense, why wouldn't you do it? The other reason why you might look into that is if you work for a company that's got a defined benefit pension plan, but you believe that they might not actually be in business in 40 years. So that's the biggest risk with a pension, is that corporation that you work for goes out of business. So most pensions nowadays aren't with these giant corporations, or aren't with smaller corporations, they're with the government and basically monopolies that are probably not going to go out of business. But sometimes I've seen some where it's like, I don't know what's going to happen with this company and I'm worried about it. So in that case, I would certainly consider it as well. So something that I'm going to start looking at when I see pension commutable values coming in across our desk, I'll certainly run that quote. Now, who are they for? First and foremost, you have to believe that you are going to have a long life. So if you really think, you're in good health, my family history is really good, some people we talk to are like, I'm not going to live that long, do not consider an annuity, because the break-even point comes somewhere in your mid-80s where it starts to make sense. If you have a really low risk tolerance, you hate volatility, you're always wanting to switch or talk about new investments because you just hate that you saw, minus 3% or whatever, then maybe an annuity is a really good piece of that puzzle. You don't have to worry so much about volatility. I would not recommend putting all of your money into an annuity. I think it's kind of a mistake, and I certainly wouldn't be one to recommend that. Looking to incorporate some additional tax planning and savings, wanting to increase your set income. So you're like, okay, I know our monthly costs are this, say they're $5,000 and you've got $3,500 coming in from CPP and OAS together. Okay, let's get another $1,500. We know that that's going to cover your basic needs for the rest of your life. It's always going to be there. The rest of it on top is gravy, and you can do a whole bunch of different things with it. And the last thing that I was sort of thinking about is a really good tool for estate planning when your kids are kind of losers. I'm just kidding, but I know there's a lot of people that have a lot of money out there that are like, I don't really want my son or daughter to get, $500,000 the day I die, because I know that they're going to blow it and run through it. So maybe as part of the estate planning, you say, well, if interest rates are good or something, then, the estate can buy an annuity for that person that basically sets it up like a trust where it pays a set monthly income to the beneficiaries of the estate. And then that they're at least covered for this, set income for, say 10 or 20 years. Maybe not a life annuity in that case, but a term annuity where it's like, okay, that money can come to them over the course of 10 or 20 years rather than in one big lump sum where they're going to go blow it all. And who should not consider an annuity? Obviously, anybody that has a shortened life expectancy, lower than average, of course. If you think that, then do not consider one, because it will be a waste of your money. You'd probably be better off just keeping it in a checking account in that case. Or if you're a really confident investor, you're not worried about market volatility. You're always going to be invested in, more moderate aggressive, and you're not going to budge on sort of your intuition, and you've got a really good plan in place. You don't necessarily need to consider it, because you'll probably be worth more money at the end of the day if that's you, and you can keep that. But if you're worried about it, want to incorporate some of this, or at least talk about incorporating an annuity into your plan, I think it's a good time to do that. So if you are watching this and thinking about reaching out, now might be a good time if you want to also discuss annuities, because we're going to incorporate them in your retirement plan anyway. And we'd love to hear from you. The summer's always a little bit slower, so we'll have more time and energy to work with you and help you out. So thanks again for watching. Please like and subscribe, and we'll chat again soon. Cheers.